Buenos días, bonjour, ohayou gozaimasu. Es lunes, nous sommes lundi, getsuyobi desu yo. Metacognition Monday time. We're talking about how your brain works so that you can learn faster. All right, today we're going to talk about multitasking, and this is really difficult for me to impress upon you in an online environment. Okay, so first of all, does multitasking truly exist? Think about that for a second. All right, what's your evidence of whether or not it exists? How many times have you tried to multitask? Do you do either of those two things very well? Half as well? Does it take you the same amount of time to do it? Are you actually saving time? Or does it take you longer to do those 2 or 3 things if you're multitasking? Think about it for a second. So we're going to talk about working memory first. Working memory is, it's kind of like your desktop, okay? You need a skill or a vocabulary word, and you're going to call it from your short-term memory into your working memory, where it's accessed easier, all right? You work with it a bit, and after that, you're either going to shuffle it back into short-term memory, or hopefully we're going to encode it into long-term memory, okay? Now, it turns out that the average person can only hold 7 items at a time in working memory. Let me put it this way. Have you ever walked into a room and you came into a room because you wanted to get something in the room, and when you got in the room, you were like, what did I come in here for? It's because you were thinking, okay, I got to go into the room. I got to find my calculator. I got to pick up my calculator and put it in my backpack. I've got to make sure not to leave my backpack at home when I run into the car. And you got, even if it's just one thing you're thinking about, you've still broken it down into several little steps. Or maybe you're thinking about, I got to find my calculator, and then I really also have that social studies assignment I need to do. Or you're thinking, I got to find my calculator, and I got to do that social studies assignment, and oh, I was supposed to call Bob back. And you're thinking of so many things, you can't hold them all in your brain at the same time. Okay? You can't truly multitask. You can read that. All right. So, to help you out, we need to break down a skill into its components. Okay? I relate this to learning how to drive a car. I remember learning how to drive a car, sat down in the car, and I'm like, okay, I need to adjust the seat because I'm taller than my parents. Oh, the rearview mirror. I gotta fix the rearview mirror. Oh, seatbelt. Forgot to put the seatbelt on. Okay, the key. When I put the key in, do I turn it away from me or towards me? Do I put my foot on the gas? Do I put my foot on the brake while I'm turning the key? And I had to think about all those little things. And heaven forbid I try to have a conversation or listen to music while I was learning to drive, right? I was just driving erratically if I did that. So eventually, all that stuff gets internalized. Hop in the car. I don't even remember what I do. I know how to start the car now. Okay. Once they're internalized, you can add other things such as listening to music, carrying on a conversation, stuff like that. Okay. So whatever it is we're working on now, I've talked to you about it in Microsoft Teams or I've talked to you about it in person. We're going to break it down right now into little steps so that we can figure out how best to tackle these little steps and get them internalized so that it will be easier to not quite multitask, because you can never multitask, but it'll be easier to juggle 7 things if you're not thinking about all the little minor things in skill number 1 that you're working on. All right. See you on the next assignment.